Hi, I'm Aaron here at Foto Rental, and this here is the Hasselblad 903 SWC camera, one of my personal favorites. It's the 903 SWC because it's a super wide camera. It's a fixed Zeiss Biogon T-Star 38mm, that's a 21mm equivalent, f4.5 lens, and a leaf shutter so you can sync at any shutter speed from 1/500th all the way to bulb. What's particularly interesting about this camera is, unlike other Hasselblads, there's not that middle assembly. Everything is here in the lens and goes straight to the back. You don't actually focus it, you zone focus it. You'll see here the markings on the lens. They are depth of field markings. So say your subject is about 3 feet away, you would turn the focus until, 3 feet. With the depth of field zone markings, you can see at each aperture the amount of the image that will be acceptably sharp with the distance you provided. So say you're wrong by about 1/4 foot with 3 feet. You're fine, because it still lands inside 4.5. With the viewfinder, you can see the apparent field of view that you'll be capturing in camera. That way you can fill the whole frame. Additionally, you can see the bubble level inside the viewfinder. Typically, I frame beforehand and then use the bubble level at waist level, knowing that my picture will be slightly different than what I see through it. But that'll be the case anyway, since I can't see through the lens. The camera takes a typical Hasselblad A12 back, as you can see here. This is an older one, so it doesn't have the option to put your dark slide in the back to store it. But it does mean you can have multiple backs for the camera, so you're not constantly reloading while pictures are happening. Now, we'll load the camera. Make sure your dark slide is moved out of the way, so when you pull the latch and turn it, it doesn't get caught on it. And here you have the film magazine, with your take-up spool ready to go. You insert the film, orient it this way so that as the film comes across the film plane, the black side is up. Orient your latch again so you can get your film under here so you can maintain the tension. Bring it back down, that way your film stays in place, but keep a finger on the back end, that way you can keep loading it. And then with the take-up spool, take your tab, put it in, and wind. Once your film is spooled through, you can pull it so that the arrow lines up with the red arrow up top. Then you're able to load your film into the magazine, latch it down, good to go. Once the film is in the magazine, go to the back end of the camera and use this winder, the smaller one, to bring the film number up to 1. The camera is completely mechanical, so it'll stop you when you get there. Now that you've gotten there, you can move that lever backwards to put it in this position. Then you're ready to shoot. When you're photographing, you need to remove the dark slide. Set your focus, set your aperture, set your shutter speed, make sure your camera is level and it's the frame you want, and you're good to go. If you don't want to take any more exposures, put your dark slide back in the camera. This way, you won't be able to take any more exposures. But if you'd like to take exposures continuously, you can do so. Once you've used your last frame, the camera won't let you make any more frames. So put your dark slide back in, put your winder back into a closed position, and use that small winder again to bring the film back onto the take-up spool. Once it feels loose, you know you're done. You're then able to undo this same latch, pull out the film magazine, and see your film on the take-up spool. At this point, you're ready to take it out, seal it, and move the other spool into the take-up spool position. Remember, be kind. Rewind. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video on the Hasselblad 903 SWC. I'm Aaron here at Foto Rental, and I hope we see you soon.